Welcome back to Robin Revealed. I'm your host, Robin, and today we're peeling back the curtain on how my latest album, Soul Glitch, was made. In the last episode, we talked about the story of Robot, Rxbyn, the central character of this album. And today, I'm going to dive deep into the technical side, how I took that story and turned it into a sonic experience. If you've ever wondered how I approach production, this episode is for you. So, when I started on Soul Glitch, I knew I wanted the production to feel futuristic and human at the same time. So the concept of robot, a robot with lingering human emotions, was really the foundation for the sound. So the first thing I did was think about how I could reflect that duality in the music. I wanted the sound to be glitchy, distorted, and electronic, but I also wanted warmth, something organic that reminded me of, or reminds you more so, of the human soul trapped inside, you know? To be honest with you, I think once I laid that foundation down, I'm a list maker. So I made a list of, at the time I only had a Windows laptop. I was using HP. And so I made a list of VSTs that, free VSTs I should look up, like glitch style, electronic, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I went and Googled them, and I found this one free VST that, if I don't already have a video on it, I'll do one. But it was called Rovi. There's two of them, the same brand, same company, but one is like a condensed version of the larger plugin. So I'm not sure which is which, I don't know, but I had them both. It was Rovee, Rovee, and Kerovee, Kerovee. And that was a VST plugin that allowed me to make my robot vocals the way that I did. They format pitched them and everything for you, but it does it in a way that literally sounds just so mechanical. That plugin right there is the highlight to me of the project and the sound, the style, the foundation of it, because I've heard a lot of different robotic effects, digital, droid, electronic effects. And I really wanted something that sounded original to me. And I'm sure obviously other people have used that plugin at some point, but I liked the idea that there was this free VST that I had never heard anything about that was providing me a sound that I had never received, and that I could take that and run with it. So I did. So that was the foundation of that. Window was a very R&B album. I think part of the human aspect of the production came from that aspect of my songwriting, really. So I didn't really have to do too much thinking about that. I tried to let the lyrical content and the vocal performance be the drive for that specifically. I'm trying to think of all the stuff I used. Serum was my best friend. Serum and Silence, both. Those two plugins, I learned how to shape sound and make wavetables and all that stuff. Sound design, essentially, through those plugins during this time, trying to make those songs. And I think the last thing I would attribute the sound to would be some artists. Let me talk about what I was listening to at that time. So being that it's such a sad album, I was depressed at the time. And I think you can hear that on Window too, but Window has this air of hope and positivity to it. I think if I'm being honest with you, that might have been why Window was such a big moment for me, But it opens up so dark and so honest and brutal about my family and stuff. But at the end, it's a big thank you and it's a big I love you for everything. And I'm now at 27, going on 28, trying to figure out how to do that in my actual real life. It's really crazy. Things that you're able to do as a younger, less conscious version of yourself. But anyway, back on topic. Music I was listening to around that time was very sad, very not slow, but ambient. Joji's album, In Tongues, that's what I believe it's called. Specifically I'm big on cover art, but I think just it's the original EP where it's all blue, he's underwater. I love that. That was on repeat along with his it's the album that has Slow Dancing in the Dark on it. Let me pull this stuff up. Hold on. Not JoJo. We love JoJo though. Well, you know what? I was listening to JoJo. JoJo was not an influence on this specific sound, but I was definitely listening to JoJo. Yeah, look, I'm looking at them right now and can't even tell you. It was ballads. That's what it is. Interesting. So yeah, I was listening to In Tongues and ballads for sure. I love Yeah Right. I love Will He. I love Slow Dancing in the Dark. I love Test Drive. Test Drive's my shit. Yeah Right's my shit too, really though. But Joji's artistry is great. I keep playlists and I call them soundtracks to my life. And I have them named like by season. So this would be definitely season 1. Here we go, guys. Garden by Emily Sandé featuring Jay Electronica was my shit. I was listening to a lot of Charlie XCX. That was the #1 Angel album. Oh, I'm so sorry. As I'm going through the list now, I'm reminiscing. After Laughter had just came out in 2017, but I was still bumping that. It's here in the top of this playlist.
Told you so.
By Paramore. Banks's album, The Altar. We love Banks. Tinashe. There's always Tinashe. The Aquarius album. The entire Aquarius album is in here pretty much. I was listening to Tom Ston's Argonaut EP. Astrid S's self-titled EP. My shit. I think also at this time too, though, or by this time, her second EP, Party's Over, had came out, and that was my shit. The song Bloodstream, pop perfection if you ask me. Yeah, there's just a lot here. Look, there's just a lot. Halsey, Jordan Sparks. I mean, now I'm just going through this playlist and there's a lot in here. So you probably can't hear these, but Troye Sivan's Blue Neighborhood. That is definitely an influence. Yeah, so you probably can't hear these things like specifically, but these are things that are popping out to me that I remember listening to at this time. I've been a Nikki Flores stan. I was listening to Nikki's original EP, XIIXV. That's a date. I should learn what the date is and say it by date. Meet me halfway. That's my shit. Okay. How nostalgic of me. Wow, this playlist really could have gone anywhere. Okay, so I reached the bottom, and I think those are the main things that stuck out. If I'm being honest, I'm sure there's way more than just those influences. That's really what I was listening to and what I was getting into at the time. I was also getting into... I listened to a lot of different stuff. So I think I was really just in like a mesh of different thoughts and ideas about the stuff that I was intaking, you know. I'm leaving out an important part too. I was also going through a bit of not a breakup. Yeah, I was going through a breakup. I was going through a breakup at the time, which I didn't even really, this is so bad. I didn't even really remember. I thought it happened like a year or two prior, but not at that time in the beginning of 2019, but like prior, like right before I released my debut album in 2018, I had just gone through a breakup. So I think I was writing like, you know, trying to get all of that out, right? There's a playlist I listened to that I would listen to when I was in that mode. And I listened to that playlist, and in that playlist, there's a lot of electronic influences, a lot of alternative electronic influences. So like I said, Tom Ston in one of them, but in actuality, he's one of the ones that came from this playlist. Like the song Brain Dead, a huge impact on me. Lapsley, oh my God, Falling Short by Lapsley. Crazy. A lot of Kiara. I was listening to Kiara, and at this point, I'm not even sure she had released her debut album yet. I was waiting on that, so all I'd heard was Rufus, let me know, you know, I just know. Which I coincidentally, I have a cover of that on my YouTube channel that I refuse to take down because for some reason it got it was like one of my first videos to get like over 1,000 views organically. If it's not that one, it's the Feels song, which is a dope song. But yeah, Kiara's EP, her low-key EP. Oh my God, Gallant's album, Weight in Gold. Gallant's Weight in Gold album. Oh my gosh. And you know what's ironic? As I'm recording this, he just released his 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 new album Zinc, which is beautiful. Just it's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's Paperwhite in here. Got me going. Oh my gosh, I love that song. Love that song. Oh, Alina Baraz and Galimatias. I don't know if that's even how you say that. I just say it like that. But that whole EP, Urban Flora, Bible, electronic, R&B Bible. Alternative Bible. I don't know what genre you'd put that in, but fuck, it's so good. That really is how I got introduced to Alina, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how everybody got introduced to her. But yeah, I'm such a fan of her solo stuff now because of this record. And I do listen to Galimatias by himself. He doesn't have much out, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't checked in a while, but there's some singles like a single or two he had that I jam. Pretty sure it's in the playlist. But yes, Banks. We love Banks, the Goddess album. Oh my God, Neo's Bad Blood. Oh my God, I love that song. From the For All We Know album. That whole album. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I could go on. I've always had a wide array of influences, you know. But man, it's just so interesting to go down the line and really see them. Flume, Nikki Heaton. Oh, Division. Yeah. Jeremy Zucker. That's a good one. He's so good. James Blake. One of my favorite songwriters. Frank Ocean. So yeah, those are just, to name quite a bit, those are just some of my influences for the record. Once I had the dream and the concept kind of down, which really didn't come until later, I ironed a lot of that out over the next year or two throughout the pandemic. Hence why Feel a Wave came out in 2020, but then we didn't do anything with it, put it on a record until now. I had to really start from the drawing board, but then also, personal life takes over a lot, right? But yeah, once I had the concept down, it was time to build the sound. So I spent hours experimenting with synths and creating the glitchy effects, the sound design, trying to find the balance between machine and human, one that I liked, right? One that felt authentic to me. And then one of my favorite parts of this process actually was using vocal chops to create textures. Man, almost like pieces of a robot's fragmented memory was kind of breaking through is really what it kind of felt like, I don't do it on every song, but songs like Pull the Plug definitely have it there at the end when it's like, I am not a robot, like repeating like that. I've got feelings. Oh man, it was the ultimate glitch in the system, right? Songs like Code make me feel like that too, even with just how subtle it comes through with all my friends are stuck in their actions. It's very, it's just so subtle, but there. I don't know. So it's funny when we're talking about the production of the record, because a lot of people probably don't know that I made this over multiple different avenues, DAWs, time spans, conditions. Like, I actually wouldn't recommend doing what I did. But because I'm somebody who will sit on something, maybe not so much anymore, I've definitely tried to break that now that I've released this record. But I sat on this record for 5 years. And a lot of that was because I kept having this, it's not perfect, it's not ready mindset, right? And I can only tell you so much about how detrimental that is now to have as a mindset when you're trying to create. But, oh man, I did that. And so it took so much longer, but I started off doing everything on my HP laptop in a DAW that I talk a little bit about in my Robin's Roots episodes on my TikTok and my YouTube shorts and reels. But I used a DAW called Mixcraft, Acoustica Mixcraft. And no hate to Mixcraft. Mixcraft, it literally saved my life for... Man, oh gosh, I think I said I started doing this from 2008. I stopped using Mixcraft officially in 2020, 19, 20, something like that. I would say, so fuck, that's 12 years of my life. Acoustica Mixcraft gave me a reason to live, keep going, express myself, teach myself, grow, water. But I was using that, and it was not the traditional everything is handed to you in the most user-friendly kind of DAW. They would do regular updates. Well, I think every like few years. It still had this Windows style user interface, which made it feel very like, I don't know. It started to feel annoying to use around the time that I was starting to switch over, actually. So 2019, I made all of Window in that album, but now that I was trying to make an album professionally, when I got to the mastering stage and all that stuff, I realized that DAW didn't give me, and once again, no hate to Mixcraft. Do what you gotta do. Like I said, I used that shit for 12 years. But it did not have the capabilities of giving me the mastering chain and the sound, really, the sonics that I wanted. And that is very important to me specifically, but in general, right? Sorry, I'm stretching. Oof. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I woke up and I did not do my workout and stuff. I started trying to write, and then went outside and ended up getting on the phone. So my body and my schedule is a little out of whack, but it's okay. We're here. They didn't give me the sonics that I wanted. So I decided, I knew that I didn't decide, but I knew that I had to, look elsewhere. I started looking into Pro Tools and all that, but quickly realized I was not willing to pay the amount of money that I was gonna have to pay for that. And that I also didn't have the system for that on the laptop that I was using. And lo and behold, where there's a will, there's a way. The Lord brought in some amazing people in my life through a show opportunity, and one of the guys had a studio in his home, and one of the other guys was helping him run that business. And so through watching the two of them, I got a job, my first job being an engineer, so that was dope as hell. And then I got to learn a new DAW, one that was actually more user friendly, one that was more visually appealing, to be honest, and that just felt easier, lighter. I can't explain it. I love Logic, I really do. But yeah, so I started making beats in there. Feel the Wave actually was the fourth song I made, if you count Can't Relate, but third if you don't count that song. So Pull the Plug and Spiral, and then I wrote Feel the Wave next, if I'm not mistaken. And Feel the Wave, I played the guitar and everything. I did all of that in Logic. I think the quickest way to learn how to do something is to make a beat in it, or like a DAW specifically. Just go ahead and do what you would, or try to do what you would do in your other DAWs in that DAW. That's where you will find your obstacles, what you need, what you don't need. So I did that, and man, the whole beat came out, and I ended up being able to put my buddy Visionary on it. I don't know how long later, a week or two later, but he was so dope coming in with the background vocals. It really completed the song. But in doing that, I would make the beat in Logic, stem it out, take it to my Windows computer because I was familiar with Mixcraft, and mix it there, and then put it back in Logic to record or whatever. And that got tiring. That was a lot to do every single time. And then my computer was also dying, the Windows one, because it was just old. It's running on its last leg. I had a lot of shit on that computer, still do. So definitely not as fast as it could be. And I eventually realized I had to stop making songs on there. I went on to make probably the rest of the album on there. I'm pretty sure I did. I know I made the beat for Code, wrote that song on that laptop. I know I did 10% on there. I definitely did Erase Me on there, which was originally supposed to actually be on Soul Glitch, but we put it on iMotions. Which is actually, it's so funny. I forgot all about that. Erase Me was originally supposed to be on Soul Glitch, but we put it on iMotions because it felt like that record needed some kind of song like that, like a dark song. But also, it was my way of warming us up into the whole glitchy sound that would come full force in Soul Glitch. Because, iMotion is still in that world of Soul Glitch. It's just a different time. But yes, when I finally got a hold of Logic and I started mixing things the way that I wanted to, I stemmed out everything, beats and vocals from my Windows computer, and just put it all on a hard drive. And I was working in Logic fully with raw stems from my Mixcraft DAW From there, I got to really mixing, but I realized it took me way more time. I learned how to stem properly from there, at least in Mixcraft, because you had to like manually take off the effects. It was a lot. And then we met other artists and collaborators who had Pro Tools in their studios, and I had to, record vocals in there and stem those out and put them back in Logic. Like I learned so much throughout this process. So I can't say that I would not do it again. But if your goal is efficiency or like getting something done, obviously don't do what I did. My process was spread out, but my process was also spread out because in real time, the album was being shaped. I didn't have all those features and stuff initially. I met these people and put them on my record as I was going. It was really, really fun. It was so interesting and so new to me, meeting other creatives who had just as much passion as I did, if not more. And it's really a beautiful thing. I don't know. I'm so grateful. Let's talk about some specific tracks. Take Code, for example. The song was all about a robot, the character, feeling isolated and confused. To capture that, I used a lot of reverb and delays on the vocals to give it this distant, lost feeling, The drums are super minimal, almost like a heartbeat that's fading out. And then in the chorus, you get this wave of synths that crash in. It's like robots' emotions trying to break through the robotic exterior, if you think about it in the technical scheme of things. It was really honestly one of my favorite songs to produce. I say often, I think I have like a TikTok thing too, it's like one of my favorite songs I've ever made. And it doesn't sound like the most popular thing ever. No, I don't give a damn. Like, it's so good to me. And I think it's really just because it resonated so hard. I often am over the songs that I make after I make them, right? But Code is a song I've been able to come back to over the last 5 years and still dance and bob my head to like a little boy in his bedroom before school or after school. Like, it's crazy. And I hope everybody feel that way, Shit. But yes, I'm happy to say, though, I realized I said that I resonated. I'm happy to say that I feel like a lot of my friends are not stuck in their actions, but we'll get into that. Okay, so every project has its challenges, and Soul Glitch is definitely no different. There were moments when I wasn't sure if I could pull off the sound that I had in my head. I wanted this to feel unique, but there's always that fear that it won't translate, The breakthrough came when I stopped trying to make everything perfect. The beauty of this album is in the glitches, I think, the imperfections. That's what gives it character, just like Robot. There are parts of the album that are distorted. There are parts of it that are kind of disorienting, but it all contributes to the experience overall, There were a lot of technical and creative challenges I faced. One of the main ones being the technical challenge of my hard drive. I broke the hard drive that contained the visuals and project files for this album 4 times between the starting of it and the releasing of it in September of 2024. 4 times. That's 4 different hard drives I went through. And I'm no damn, I don't know shit, but I know that seems excessive, right? And I'm not bad with electronic devices. Like, I try to have I keep all my stuff up, so there's that. But also, like, after it happened the first time, I was definitely trying not to have it happen again. Same thing with the second time. So I was really on my shit, and it's just happened 4 times. I almost thought a couple times, like, oh, so this is just not supposed to come out. Like, I'm not even supposed to. Literally, the first 2 times were, I would consider them happenstance. I won't even go into details of it because it is what it is. I was going through some life transitions, and in that, you have to leave certain things behind. The 3rd time, I had just finished mixing the album. Just finished. And I'm talking to a perfect T. I had no more notes. It was June of 2022. And I saved my project like I always do. Put my computer away. The next day, I went to Lago Mar, the beach, little beach access area or whatever, with some family, and I had an interview, a podcast interview that didn't air. After that, during the podcast interview, I think I even talked about it, about how I'm done with that album, and I was so happy, bro. I was so happy. I went home that same night after that interview, and there was some other crazy shit that happened in the midst of that interview and stuff, but I won't go into that right now. But I went home and I opened that hard drive to continue working on it, or continue bouncing it, or whatever. And my nephew had just turned, June 2022. Oh no, okay, sorry, it was June of 2023. Yeah, so June of 2023, he had just turned a year. And he just turned a year not too long before that. So he's running around, and this was my fault. He was stepping on something was on his pacifiers. So I'm sitting at the edge of my bed trying to reach it for him on the ground. So instead of being a smart person and putting the laptop aside and reaching for it, I leaned all the way down, forgetting the hard drive is connected only to a USB-C cable, and it falls out and falls flat onto what I have is concrete floor. So it rattled the gears and it got fucked up. The problem is I paid for, that was the third time. I guess I should say the second time. The second time was when I was doing the Echo video. After day one of filming, I dropped the hard drive when I was moving into a new apartment. And when I dropped the hard drive, it didn't work. But this time I paid for it to get fixed, which means I had everything back, including the soul glitch stuff. That backup hard drive, which I got done paying, that was another thing too. I got done paying for the hard drive. Can you guess when? My last payment was June of 2023. So I paid it off June 6th. Whatever day I had that interview, that podcast interview, I broke that shit that same night. I was pissed. That shit costed me over, I think it was like a couple $1,000. Or maybe like a little under 1,000, like 1,500 or something like that. But it was over $1,000. And I didn't have that kind of money because I was also I was doing a lot of different things at the time. So I was paying it monthly. And so to be able to pay that off, get that off my bill, my debt, or get that off my paycheck was beautiful. Like, that's $200-300 I'm saving a month, bitch. Thank you. So to have it break again was devastating. But I had just backed it up like 4, 5, 6 months prior to that. So I could continue to work on it. I actually did submit it, that hard drive that broke, to get refixed again, but circumstances changed and I could not go another year paying, however much money I was paying a month. So I ended up just deciding to work off of, saying fuck it, right? Here's the whole nothing has to be perfect mentality. Let's push on, let's push through. I ended up saying fuck it and going to work off of the backup hard drive. I worked off the backup hard drive, re-edited the stuff that needed to be re-edited, and as a result of that, that meant that I had to master what I already had. I wasn't trying to remix and do all this extra crazy shit. Some of my ideas got lost, right? But it's fine. I just knew, at this point, I wanted the album to be out. So I finally finished it in September off of the backup hard drive. And I started mixing Windows 5th Anniversary Edition. We're all good and Gucci up until I was editing the Code music video. And I'm trying to back up the hard drive. So this is in Code, the music video came out in I think it was August. July or August. So this is one of them right before the album's supposed to come out. Mind you, I'd already submitted it for streaming and everything, so it was good, but I I'd already sacrificed the high quality masters that I wanted. I had to settle for like these lesser quality versions, lesser idea. Yeah, it's just a lot. It was a lot. So we are in October now. Still has not worked. And I, once again, not paying for that shit to get shipped off and fixed again. Can't do that right now. And what's funny is at this point, I had just left my job too. I don't know why I whispered that. I was just about to whisper that to you guys. But I had just left my job working at this hotel. So I was like, I was pissed. So I'm like, okay, well, this is the test of time. You know, I kept it pushing. I was lucky. The Lord blessed me that the shit that I had already backed up onto the hard drive was basically the soul glitch stuff. Not everything, but it was the majority of it. It was everything I needed to continue the music videos and like for Code into Percent and to, continue with the release. And don't tell me, I already know, I've already been looking into those like really durable orange hard drives. That's like one of the first things on the top of my list right now. But I think another thing that was like a challenge during this time, and this one will be a more creative or personal challenge, was feeling behind because I had all these ideas so far back when 2018, 2019, 2020, I felt like I was a little late to the party, like especially after releasing Emotions, to kind of keep the hype up. And that was a more modern sound. I felt like I was like, damn, am I regressing? Like, will people even want to hear these songs? Is this gonna even be good enough to put out? Because like this might have been popular 4 or 5 years ago, but fuck, like time really does wait for no man. But I don't feel that way anymore. And I honestly couldn't tell you what changed that. I think it was a combination of everything, feeling like I have to keep going. Like, you know what? I just want to put this out. Whoever is supposed to hear this is going to hear it. Whoever needs this they're going to get it. But it does me no good to hold myself back and stop myself from progressing because it doesn't look the way that I want it to. That makes no sense. So that was a lesson that I learned throughout this process. I honestly, I really don't think I would have done this any other way. As crazy as it sounds, as long as it sounds, I really truly do see now that it was all by design. And gosh, I wish I could go into more depth here. We'll definitely get into it. That's a little behind the scenes look at how Soul Glitch came together. The album was such a unique journey for me, and I hope you can hear that in the music. In the next episode, we're going to take a deep dive into the individual songs and stories behind them, so make sure you don't miss it. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on social media. That's at Rxbyn official on everything. And if you have any questions about the production process or anything else, hit me up using the hashtag Soul Glitch Experience. And yeah, I'll see y'all soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Robin, and I'll see you next time.